Hi everyone, welcome to another video from this double page spread from Rita Berman's book. We've got a couple of pages left. We've got the nest and the flowers. Now I'm trying to decide what to do with these. They're quite pretty looking. They sort of make me think of cornflowers, but I'm thinking while I decide what to do, oops, I'm just moving my pencils around. We'll do this little pebbles in the ground, on the ground, and then we'll think about the flowers as we go. So I'm just trying to decide what colours to do. I think I'm going to do them grey. I'm going to start with the warm grey 5, using the Polychromos as I have for all of this page. I just think it's a little bit easier for you. I'm just going to move my book and tripod a little bit closer. There we go. I always think it's easier for you if I use the same pencils for the whole page. Sometimes I mix it up a lot, but do every design with a different one, but this time the same ones. Now we're nearly at the end of this page, and I have had a request for my next series. She did say mini series, but actually it's quite a detail. It's a page from Ivy, which I have decided to definitely do. And it has got 49 small pictures on, I think. I didn't count them exactly. I sort of counted rows and columns, and I think there's 49. So it's a lot. So at the moment I'm a little bit pushed for time, so I thought it would be quite a good one to do, because each little picture is obviously quite small, so it won't take long. But because it's small, I can still spend time doing some details and sort of doing it slowly without rushing it, because each one is little. So I am going to go ahead with that page. So tomorrow we've got the nest here to do, and we'll move on to that one. There's a lot of florals in it, so it still is quite spring-like, which is good. I feel like I've sort of done my spring pictures a little bit early. It's not even a sort of Eastery pictures, maybe a little bit early. But I think that's okay. This is warm grey 3, which I'm going to use for the tops. I'm going to leave a little bit of white if I can. Some of them are a little small, just to make it look like there's a bit of light shining off the top of each of these little stones. I think it's quite fun to do it that way. And they could have the light shining off them if they're little shiny pebbles. It's just a different way of colouring it. Some of these have got a bit too much dark grey on, so I'm not actually going to colour them at all. But we'll just work our way through. There we go. Now, I don't think I'll do the stems yet. I think I'll do them all the same. And I'll do all the flowers different. I can see that some of these have got a bud on the same stem, and that one as well. So maybe I'll do the flower and the 2 buds the same on that one. This bud is on its own. This is its own. Oh no, that flower comes out of that stem there. So I've got that one with the bud. This one coming out of there. I think we've probably got 4 or 5 colours there to deal with, and I thought it might be fun to do them different colours, but maybe for a bit of a change we'll mix the colours up. We have done that on these up here as well, so we'll sort of do 2 colours in each flower. I don't do that very often, so I thought it might be a bit different for you. So we'll start with a magenta for the centre of our first flower here. And the idea is that we put a heavier layer in the middle and then just fade it. This is a technique I use a lot. It'll be familiar to you. But we'll, instead of fading it just into a lighter shade of sort of pink, we'll use a different colour. Now when you're choosing your pairs of colours, you want them to work together. So I'm not going to, yellow can work quite well with a lot of colours. I'm not going to do that with this. It's going to be yellow is difficult to blend with dark colours. So what I'm going to do with this one, I'm just going to do a little bit on the buds as well so I remember, is pick a colour which is similar, not too far away. So if you want to go easier, use the light magenta. This is magenta, this is light magenta, so they will be similar. But I'm going to go slightly different, and I'm going to use this one, which is, I think, the violet. I've swapped out some of my shorter pencils just recently, so that I'm not having to look all of them up. So some of them, I just thought it was time. That's the violet. I thought it was time that I got a few new ones to replace some of the really short ones. So with the violet, I'm going to put a harder layer here. Could even do a bit of mauve at the end here to make it really dark, and then reduce the pressure and the amount of layers as it comes together with the magenta. The magenta is quite red in colour, I always feel. But it works, I think, with this purple. You may prefer, as I say, to do it with a pink. You could do it with a yellow. Yellows look nice when they're blended with a lot of colours like this, but I find them difficult to blend, so I'm just doing it the easy way, really. And I will do a yellow one, but we'll blend it with orange, which will make it a lot easier, because it's the colour groups are next to each other. We could do it with red, maybe. Well, have a think. But we'll just try and make life easy. Excuse me, I need my coffee. It's a little bit warm though beside me. Right. Oh, and we do these. Now you could leave it there, but I'm going to go back and do another layer of the magenta. That's why I've left it here, to remind me. And go back over it and then just fade it in. Now you can layer up as many times as you want to make it as vibrant as you wish, and the more you layer, the more it will mix. You can take your colour a little further up the petal each time if you want to. Just play with the colour however you wish to. I'm quite liking the bud. I'm not going to do too much more with those. There we go. And I'm going to go back to my violet and just redo that layer as well. If you go over it twice, it allows you to cover over any paper that you accidentally missed, or because sometimes the white paper shows through, and it will just make the colour that bit stronger and will help to blend those colours together more. I read a very interesting thing this morning about blending, actually. Where was it? On Instagram? I can't remember. Anyway, the person, who I really should note their name and credit them because it was a very interesting idea, said, hang on, sorry, I've just got to wipe my nose, wants to run. Excuse me. The person said that something that they did, I know I haven't done the centre, by the way, I'm going to deal with those later. Okay, we're just going to do the basics now. They said that they, I'm going to use the pale geranium late while I talk, after I've sharpened it, that rather than using a blending solution after they have finished their picture, they actually dip their pencils in their Gamasol. Gamasol is an American brand. Now I'm trying to work out what is happening with this flower. Oh, I see. So we've only got 4 petals. These aren't within a petal. Okay. Oh, that's good. This is going to be a tricky blend, so we've only got a few. Now, if you've got a tricky blend, tip, take your colour further along and really just faint. Do you see? So the further you take it, the easier it is to blend, I find. Anyway, so she dipped her pencils straight into the Gamasol and then used them on the paper and said they were a lot smoother. I thought that was a really interesting idea, and I might try it. Not with this picture, not in a book to start with, because blending solution works. I've tried it in some books and it's fine. I've not tried it in Rita's books. I've tried it in Johanna Basford books, and the pages are thicker, So I'd be a little bit wary of whether it's going to go through the page. So it's something I wouldn't try. I would try it firstly on a single-sided picture in a book or on a download. I'm going to pick my yellow. I'm not going to go too pale. I'm going to do this one, the dark cadmium yellow. It's quite an orangey yellow. And we're going to use the same technique as here, so I'm not going to necessarily talk you through it. So yes, I always like to experiment actually on downloads, because you can chuck them away if it all goes horribly wrong, which is always nice. If it bleeds through the paper, it doesn't harm anything on the back. And I don't feel as I can't think of the word, sort of attached to a download. If a page is in a book, I know that if it all goes wrong, then every time I sort of flip through that book, I'm going to see that page. But if it's a download, it can just pop away in a folder. I won't look at it very much again. Okay, so I'm going to go back in with my red, the pale Geranium Lake. So yeah, I always experiment. So I had some, if I get new pencils and things, I tend to not. I'm a little bit more daring. Depends what it is, because most brands aren't that tricky to handle. Like got some new Castle Art Gold. Don't know if the review would go out. It probably won't be out yet. CCR red and yellow have made a sort of orange blend. It works quite well, but yellows, as I say, can be tricky, which is why I did an orangey yellow, and it was closer to the red colour. Now our next one, I want to do blue, but I'm not sure. Oh, I know. This is a nice combo. These two. So this is a bluish turquoise, and this is the light phthalo green. So I'm going to do this one first. I like to do the darkest first. You don't have to. For me, I just find it easier, and I don't really know why. It shouldn't be easier. Anyway, I was trying out some new pencils. I had some Castell Arts Gold, which someone sent to me, which was really lovely, very exciting, very interesting pencils. Watch my review, because if you're interested in thinking about getting them and not sure about whether they're different to the soft touch Castell Arts or not, I did a little comparison, and it's interesting. So a bit of hype for my video. But I did those in, what did I try them out on? I'm sure I tried them out in a book. No, I actually didn't. I did them on a printout. Because it was 72 set, there was a lot of them. I actually used a mandala because they're quite good for putting in lots of different colours. And it was actually a download. Excuse me, my voice is disappearing. So yeah, but I wouldn't mind doing those so much in a book. But I got some Posca pencils. There's another video for those. This is back onto the light phthalo green. And I'm going to sharpen that, it's far too blunt. I was a bit less confident with those, but I did them in a book. But a book that has cute small pictures in, but it's single-sided, so that's a little bit less scary. Not that pencils are going to bleed through, but I just wasn't too sure about how they were going to behave, you know. But yeah. They were fun. You can see my review of those as well coming up. Those I bought myself. I found them cheap. Posca pencils are expensive, although I'm sure they're cheaper than they used to be. I'm sure when they first came out they were bonkers money, and I'm sure they're now just expensive, not bonkers. There's a difference. And but I found a little deal. I can tell you about that. I won't tell you about the review. You can watch that. But in the UK only, I'm afraid, there is a art subscription box service called Scrawl Box, but it's SCRAWLR Box. I don't know if it's Scrawler Box, I don't know how to say it. There's a video actually, they've got a YouTube channel and they have an introduction video. I'm sure if I'd watched that, I would learn how to pronounce it. I'm going back to my blue. Anyway, they had, it's a subscription service. You pay a monthly fee. They send you a box of art materials. It's not something I would do normally because there's always paints that I don't use, or paper and all sorts of drawing things, you know, no. But they had some old ones. And this one was from May 2021, so almost a year old. It was only a £5, and including postage. And there were 6 Posca pencils in there. Now that was a bargain. So each pencil was less than £1, and it had other things in as well. I do an unboxing video, going back to the light phthalo green, so you can watch that and see what else was included and see me test out the different bits and bobs. But it was, I just couldn't resist. And a lovely, lovely lady had sent me some money via PayPal tip jar, which was so, so kind, and I'm so grateful. She sends me little bits and bobs, so, so lovely. And I say little, but actually, you know, it isn't when it adds up really quickly. And so I was able to treat myself without worrying about, you know, thinking about, you know, am I spending too much on myself? But so I spent some on that, and it was lovely. Now, colour combos. I'm trying to think. I want something a bit more pink, but what else can I? I know. Would that work? Yeah, let's try that and this. This is a bit of an experiment, okay? So we have a brand new pencil there, which I just swapped in. I thought I'd use it. This is the middle purple pink. Whoops, middle purple pink. And this is my brand new light phthalo blue. And I was thinking of starting the pink in the middle. I've got pink in the middle of that one, but never mind, let's just do it. So we're going to start with the pink. Now it should blend and make purple, but we'll see. I'm just messing around. We'll see what happens. This colour combo is gorgeous. It's not my own. I have seen it in lots of other people's work. I want to credit Colour with Claire because I know she uses it a fair bit in her YouTube, but I don't know whether it was her original idea. I'm sure I've seen Emily Illustrator use it as well as loads and loads of other people. And it's really difficult because you see things other people do, you want to credit them. But I'm just working out which bud goes with this one. It's those two. Or is that one independent? No, I think that leaf must carry on into there. Yeah, let's do those two. So yeah, it's hard to know who originated the idea, but it may have been one of those two ladies. But it's such a nice combo, isn't it? Now the blue, so remember we're using the light phthalo blue. Now if you haven't got polys, you can have a go at mixing different colours of your own pencils. In my experience, most pencils blend that have a decent pigment. Okay, I haven't found any, even Staedtler Noris, which are cheap student grade pencils, they will blend together. It's just a matter of making sure that you layer them up carefully. Now with a really dead cheap kiddies pencil, you might not be able to get enough pigment out to be able to put any layers on top of each other. I think it was Miss Martley, do a video where she tried out some really cheap Walmart, was it Walmart, Target, one of those places, pencils, and she just couldn't get any pigment out of it. So by the time she'd put down some colour, she couldn't get anything else on top. But most pencils you will be able to layer up. And I think most people have pencils that will blend a little bit. So I'm going to put some more pink down now. I'm not sure how well these two colours really go together. I think they're fighting a little bit. But They do mix, but I'm not sure. It's up to you. You can choose whether you do this combo or something else. I don't know what to do for our last flower. Have a think. But for the middles, I'm going to do, this might be a bit unusual, I'm going to do them black, so that they're all the same, and then I'm going to go around them in some white pen to make them look prettier. I think a little bit of white pen on a flower can really lift and make it look prettier. Obviously, if you're trying to make your flower look realistic, white dots is not going to do it, but these aren't realistic looking flowers, so we can just use our imagination and have some fun. This is a bit of a bonus for me today. I wasn't expecting to be able to colour. My son is home, he's sitting nearby listening to videos and playing. He had work on this morning, so I didn't, I'm just looking through my colours while I'm talking, so I didn't record anything. But he has finished now, so I was able to just do a little video. I think I'm going to do this red because I like it. We've got some red here. We need to put it with a different colour. I'm wondering about a light pink. What do you think? They're quite close family-wise, aren't they? Actually, that pink I think is going to work better just because it's slightly more orangey. So this is the Venetian Red. Where have I put my pencil sharpener? Oh, here. It's right by my left hand. Right, so Venetian Red, oh that one's rolling away to start with. We're going to use the same technique. So some darker colour in here. Now this one doesn't go really dark, it's quite a pinky red. I really like it actually. Oh, make sure I was about to just move across and colour that. That's the stem. Now the reason I left the stalks or stems and leaves until later, so this is called the dark flesh. It's not called that in every set. It's number 130. And it's actually probably going to be so close to that colour you won't even notice there's two colours. Maybe it was a bit cheating and naughty. Oh, we haven't done that one. Anyway, my son finished his work, so he said I could make a few videos with him here because I need to get a few done so that I've got enough ready for the Easter holidays. So you might hear him typing away. I don't know what he's doing. He's playing Minecraft. Are you playing Minecraft? Yeah. So he enjoys that, but he's got his work done, so that's good. Oh, we had a little bit left that he, we're going back to our Venetian Red, he had a little bit left that he couldn't do. He's going to leave until he's had his class, and I'll teach him hopefully what to do. I think that was his hope. These are so close together, they look really different to the others. Maybe a bit too close. What can we do to change that up a bit? I know. Let's put a little bit of walnut brown in the middle, make it look different, and at the bottom it'll darken it up a bit. Can't get that many layers on now because we've been pushing that paper down, but it will just make it look because it's not the same as the pink. There we go. That'll do. I'm not going to over fiddle with that. Now, as I say, we're going to do the middle as black. I'm going to put my black pen there to remind me, but I'm not going to do it until after I've done the stems because it might smudge. Black, it's nice to use black last. Green. Now, we have got a green flower here, so we need to have a think carefully about what we're doing with our greens. We want a green that's going to match all of the different shades that we've got across here. and I find that the mid greens, like the this one, the leaf green, is quite a good one for matching everything. A quick look. Yeah, it's not too bluey, it's not too yellowy, so I'm going to start with that one. Now I'm going to put it in some areas but not all. Well, I'm going to fade it down in some areas, so where that's crossing it might cast a shadow and be a little bit darker. That's what I'm thinking about. Where's it going to be a little bit darker and a little bit lighter, so we can just make it look interesting, and we'll pop another colour on the top after. So I hope everyone's doing okay. Glad to say my mum's starting to feel a little bit better from her COVID. She's yeah, she's okay. She's feeling quite sort of fluey and tired, but I think she's just anxious to get better and probably overdoing it a little bit. I think we can all be like that sometimes, where we just want to get back. We don't want to be sitting about resting. Get on, do things. But she's okay. And somehow my dad hasn't caught it. Although he said he had a sore throat this morning, he thought he had it. He tested and he hasn't, so it's quite interesting. He was determined not to get it, but I'm not sure that determination is always going to be enough. But hopefully he won't. But they're both strong. They'll be okay. They've had their jabs. She was worrying on the phone. She was trying to pay the window cleaner. And she's like, how can I do that? I can't go to the door. Poor thing. I said, oh, pop it in an envelope and put it. She's a little blow away. I was like, yeah, okay, because it's a note. it's not coins. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, She was looking for a jar. She said I could put it in the jar and put it out on the doorstep. And then she said, but I'll be touching it still. I was like, oh, wash your hands first. But in the end, they didn't come and collect the money anyway. She said one of her other neighbours knows that she's got it, so they probably told her. They probably said, and her neighbour would have either have paid it for her to pay her back, or they'll collect it next time. I think window cleaners are quite used to having delayed payments, because often people aren't in when they're doing their work. You just have to make sure they don't get into too much of a cash flow problem. I guess they don't have huge overheads. They would have some. They would probably advertise, and they've got to run their car and pay for the detergents and maybe pay staff. The one that comes around our street, he's got a little dog, really noisy. I think it's a Chihuahua or something, always barking. And he's quite loud as well. He shouts. It's quite funny. I think, who's that shouting? Oh. And I think he can't hear very well, because I think when he's got a sort of pump on his machine. Because our houses are tall and narrow. He doesn't use a ladder. He uses a sort of squeegee or a sponge on a long pole, and it pumps the water up through it. So I think that's noisy. So he's often shouting. That's quite funny. He's a funny chap. I don't actually get him to do mine. I can do mine. In our street, the windows are quite difficult to get clean, but we've got new ones. Now this is tricky. I'm going to do this first and procrastinate for a minute while I think about what's going on. Now because that just disappears, I think this must be it there. Would probably come down there, wouldn't it? Really, and there'd be a line there, but I don't want to draw it in, so I'm just leaving it. I'm not finishing all this. Let's get on with it. Finish this bit. There we go. Okay. These are quite similar to our crocuses that we did up there. You can't see. Which green should we use? We'll use the grass green. It's the next sort of shade down. And just go over it all really. Now on most of our leaves we have sometimes done some Posca Pen. Might do that on these as well, here and there. It's always fun. Just brighten them up a bit. I'm just going to sharpen. I really swear by this little Staedtler sharpener for my it's what I've been drawing on it. I was testing out my paint pens, as you do. For Polychromos, it works really well. Polys are really good sturdy pencils. Mine always have been anyway. I think I had one that kept breaking once, and I don't know why it did, but once I sharpened through a few times it stopped, so I'm not sure what was going on with that one. Maybe it was my pencil sharpener. If the blade gets dull, of course they break, or maybe it was full, but yeah, I find it really good. And I've got a Derwent hand crank sharpener which I use for Derwent pencils. They're quite temperamental, they break quite a lot, even the hard ones, but the hand crank sharpener works well with those. And I use this Staedtler one for most pencils, and then if I find that it's breaking, I'll pop it in my Derwent and that sorts it out. I remember when we were at school we used to have a hand crank sharpener screwed to the desk. It had a little barrel that would collect the bits attached to it, and you would turn the handle, it would squeak. I don't know if anyone else is old enough to remember. And it's good fun. People would just stand there sharpening their pencil because it was such fun. But we were only allowed 4 pencils a year, and our teacher in that particular class would write it down so that he would keep notes. So we've been using our black now for the centres. He would keep note of how many pencils each person had had. So once you'd had your quota, that was it, no more pencils. But I used to take my own in. I used to have a little pencil tin with a cute elephant on, of course. And just going to grab a couple of pens. So white Posca to start with. Just give it a shake. Now this is the PC1MR, which is the 0.7mm pin type, like this. PC1MR. And we're going to use it everywhere. Oh, excuse me sniffing. My nose wants to run today. Don't know why. I think I want to do a few around there. Like that. Go around the middle. Ooh, need to do those. I'm not going to do any on the buds. But I remember finishing my story about the hand crank sharpener. If our pencils kept breaking, our teacher would try and decide what to do with the stems. I think I'm going to keep white. I think if I use yellow it won't show up. I'm just going to do a few dots down. If our pencils kept breaking, he would get out his penknife and he would sharpen them with that, and that used to be very entertaining. I mean, we were what, 10 years old, between 9 and 11 I guess in that class, and I don't know why it was so entertaining. I didn't really see people with pen knives and whittling away at the pencils, and when he did it like that, the pencil came to a really interesting shape. It sort of takes away a bit of wood on each side, and it used to be great fun. He never did it to my pencil, I don't think. I didn't used to break mine. Maybe I should have broken mine a bit more often. I'm going to just add a few dots to these. I do want to add a few down here. Just looking at it, I just felt they needed a little something. And then we'll be done. So there we go. There are sort of mixed up flowers. I don't know, blended flowers. But that was a bit of fun. So trying out some different things. So tomorrow we have got our nest. Got a few ideas for that. So tune in for that one. See what we do with that. But for today, thank you very much for watching. Please click like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. I really appreciate it if you do. Have a wonderful day and happy colouring.